And we're back. And we're in space! Throwing space cheers at Space, the Last Federation, developed by Space Arcen Games using the Space Unity engine. And it will cost you $19.99 space bucks. So, what is it? From the creators of AI War, Fleet Combat, and Bionic Dues comes an all-new grand strategy title with turn-based combat set in a deep simulation of an entire solar system. There's billions of inhabitants. You are a last of the murdered race, determined to unify or destroy 8 others.
You're like really big guauls.
Yeah, it's Hail Hydra.
Yep, you play as a Hydra.
Hail Hydra. And as Pedro said in his little article write-up, which you should totally read at linuxgamecast.com. But, yes, we have our crazy-ass chair explanation and our 4-chair metric. 1 chair means that it's shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. And 4 chairs means that you're liable to start seeing pink Christina Aguilera monsters after playing this game for far too long. And of course, we have our categories O'Doom, mixed with the working shiny and sounds, controls, and fun. So, then, for the Last Federation, you get to play Hydra Picard. How about some shiny and sounds?
Well, if I'm playing Picard, I have to point out that, the Force is strong with this one. And you'd have to keep in mind, we're 3 separate people on 3 different distributions, really 4, and, yeah.
Really 2.
Haha. Let's give it the business. On our Ubuntu, this is what we test, because they like to throw that in that 1204 LTS, running a pair of 770 business cards from NVIDIA. Octo-core box. No issues with this. None whatsoever, other than your standard Unity lot, which means that things are going to get loud and because you're playing a very intense... No, you're not really, but either way.
This engine
very
can't...
4 chairs. 4 chairs. Make it so, number 2.
Yeah, asshole number 2. So on my Fedora 2670 superclock powered AMD box at my feet here, it works without a hitch. Starts up, runs, doesn't do that stupid thing where it eats up both of your monitors or shuts down one of your monitors, so that's all good.
It's Unity.
So I'm going to give that 4 whole chairs.
And from the man who doesn't remember when Unity used to do that.
I do, but thankfully they fixed it. And on both my calculator with an AMD 5650 HD mobility, and on my 10-year-old PC with an NVIDIA 7600, it ran out of the box. No problems. 4 chairs.
All right, so that's 4 chairs for mix with the working. We haven't had a lot of those lately. It's kind of weird. So, coming up next, shiny and sounds. Ven, did this tickle your eye assholes?
I mean, look at it. It's brilliant. It's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
And also from the creators of AI War. Oh, what more can you expect? Well, I'll tell you what I can expect. Fix your fuck-mothering color scheme on that layout. You have, what is it? Why does every space game have to have a space menu, A? And it's going to be in the Battlestar Galactica cutoff thing, but you have green upon green in your menu. I'm not colorblind, but I kind of wish I was, because then I would have a reason not to have to what am I trying to click on here?
They do have a colorblind mode, though.
Because raisins. The ship and the models and all that business, they're there. I mean, J-Man, P-Man are probably going to just really get into some background art, but I'm going to let them do that. It does have sounds, but it's like chip art punk, there's Slayer, as is tradition. I had to put that on the background in order to deal with it. No voice acting when you would expect it, like the tutorial. But then you have random, it's oh, you need to do this. What the hell? Prepare me for this. So I'm going to say, for Shiny and Sounds, with all that naysayingness, I'm going to give it 2 chairs. Some kind of a mess score on that, J-Man. Are you going to improve?
Yeah, I know. Speaking of the voice actor, she sounds really, really disinterested while she's reading her lines. Like, oh yeah, they'd probably make a good ally, but yeah. Oh yeah, they're dangerous in large numbers. All right, yeah. Can I get my paycheck now? But one thing I noticed visually is when you zoom out to get a good look at a scenario, everything really looks all samey. It's a bit weird. You really need to rely on that minimap. And as for the soundtrack, I mean, it's very forgettable. I kind of forgot that there was a soundtrack until Ben mentioned it. And I'm like, oh yeah. I suppose there was one of those. How about that? And of course, I brought this up last week, but oh, them backgrounds.
Yeah.
Lots of movement in the foreground, all static in the background.
Planets in space do not move, human.
No, of course. You know, everything's locked in position. That's how gravity works. Gravity also gives us 2 chairs for Shiny and Sounds.
It's a binary score.
Okay, so I'm going to be a bit nicer because I thought that the chiptune background music was actually fitting for what it is. And
what
really,
is it, Pedro?
Really, the only thing about this game that is really, really jarring are the backgrounds. You get the ships moving and bullets flying one place to the other.
And the...
Yeah, pew, pew, pew all the way, but the backgrounds, they don't move. Come on, guys, you made Bionic Dues. 3 chairs.
3 chairs, that's very generous. But it doesn't do anything to raise the score of 2 chairs for Shiny and Sounds. Up next is the controls.
The controls, they work. No issues. Ding. 1 bell, still jamming. Controls work. Seriously, for what they are, there's no issues with that. It's turn-based strategy. If you manage to fuck up the controls in turn-based strategy, you have a plethora, nay, a cornucopia of other issues that you need to deal with. Going to ding it at... I'm going to be an ass about this, but I'm going to dig it because you apparently never played it on a ginormous screen with your gerbil, because adjusting the shield meter, speed meter, and all that is way over char, and all the other stuff is way down char. Giggity. And moving back and forwards, even though it's turn-based, you got plenty of time to do it, but I'm in a combat. We need to do that. That mentality never fails to escape me. I found that trudgery of moving back and forwards, back and forwards, back and forwards. Also giggity, but seriously, I can't fault it because all the other controls, especially, I do like the mechanic of being able to vector your ship around. Hold down that shift button, you're like, all right, I want to go here, but I want to come around here before I make my play so I can pew, pew, pew at this. And I was like, that's kind of neat. I enjoyed it. For the controls, I'll give it 3 chairs. That's what it deserves.
See, I didn't like the snake thing you had to do. I would have preferred to be like they give you a movement quota and then you can just say go here, go here, go here, go here. And that's enough for me to ding at a chair. But yeah, the controls are all right for what they are. I mean, I like Ben said, it's a turn-based strategy game. It's pretty hard to screw that up. But Ven also brings up a very good point with the whole power distribution systems being up at the top left-hand corner, because that's not where it belongs at all.
Yep.
So those 2 interface gripes are really my main thing. So I'll revise my previous score and give it 3 chairs for control.
Yeah.
No?
The UI could have certainly been a bit better, especially coming from the age of FTL, that everyone's played FTL, everyone's used to FTL.
Unless they have an Android device.
Yes.
Oh, dangly parts.
FTL guys, you should get on that. But for the Lest Federation, it has the exact same problem that Bionic Dues had with the camera controls. Namely, if you push the cursor to one side of the screen, if you have an extended desktop setup, if you push the cursor into one of the sides of the screen and it leaves the window while it's still in focus, it kind of freaks out and doesn't know what to do, so it goes back and forth. That needs to be fixed. You guys fixed it on Bionic Dues, so why haven't you, released the game with that fix already in? 3 chairs.
All right, so that's 3 whole chairs for control. And finally, our last subjective category, fun.
Well, we do have fun, and
we hate fun. That's why we play games.
No fun, we shall not have fun. No, but I'm genuinely thinking about people who know the shows, and they know I honestly just loathe turn-based strategy games. And new people who was like, oh, well, he's kind of being rough on this. It's good to have somebody like me who loathes turn-based strategy, because who knows if this is going to be the game that changes my brain organ. Now, I'll tell you, there is a game that has garnered my interest. It's called Wasteland 2, and it's turn-based strategy. This, however, is not Wasteland 2. With the fun, no, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, I gave it a solid, hour, and so it was like, okay, we'll learn how to shoot the ships and the planets and all that. Then as soon as it started becoming like, oh, inventory spreadsheet simulator 24, I was like, no, I don't have time to invest in this. It didn't tickle my eye pussies either. I mean, if it was like, oh, the graphics are gorgeous, and oh, the sounds are amazing, or something, that would have held my interest, or just maybe the story or anything like that. Outside of that, it's not there. You got little ships, and you run around in the planets, and oh, they're developing technologies, and you got to cut them off, curb stomp them, call Spock up and be like, I need some red matter, bro, and Spock shows up, and he's like, boom, fuck your planet. But at the end of the day, for fun, this might not come as a surprise. 1 chair. J-Man.
I actually do like turn-based strategy games, but I don't like political turn-based strategy games. I don't like having to maintain relationships with people and parties.
Just because
I don't even do that in real life. Why would I want to do this in a game? Fuck people. I mean, to this game's credit, I did lose about half an hour in there and thinking that I spent about 5 minutes. So there's that. It has the potential to be something of a time sink for sure. But really, it boils down to, this is not my type of game. When I heard we were reviewing this game, I'm like, this is going to be one of those I have to choke it down and play it for long enough to form a decent opinion about it.
Kind of like your girlfriend.
Yeah. So ultimately, as Ben aptly put it in the notes, and I had to copy him on that, I don't particularly like political turn-based strategy games, and this did nothing to change that. So I will give this 1 chair for fun.
Burn. Space burn.
Yeah. So
Space burn.
From Space Portugal on Space Skype.
Again, I'm going to be the one throwing the wrench in this well-oiled machine and say that I enjoyed it.
Have you even watched this show?
Well-lubed machine, baby, not well-oiled.
With tears.
They went for a grand strategy type of game. I almost want to call it 4X, but it's not. It's 3X. It's expand, exploit, and exterminate. It doesn't have the exploration bit so much. But it is, for what it is, it has some very interesting politics and some devious ways of actually getting to the end. Namely, if you get to the end and you have like 1 or 2 planets that don't want to join your federation, one viable tactic is to convince every other one of your allies to dump toxic waste on that planet. So eventually you exterminate the entire planet and you win.
Couldn't you just drop a Brazilian in there?
I don't think you can use
only if you spend some time in the Amazonian jungle. But, for what it is, And for the price that it is, this type of games usually considerably more expensive, namely Civilization and Dominions. So for $20, yeah, this is pretty good game. 3 chairs.
All right, so if we total that up, it is 1 chair for fun because Vin and I hate it. But if we tally everything up, this finally devolves and mushes and collapses into a 2-chair game. And if we bring up chair explanation, that's meh. So if this is your dice, you should check this out. Pedro seemed to like it, so you may derive some fun from it. But if you're of Ven and mine's persuasion, then I'd stay away from it. 20,
not going to
$20 is a bit
retract
steep.
anything I said, but definitely at the end of the day, take that shot.
All right.
If I had billions of years of time and nothing better to do, I could see getting involved in something like this. But it's just not enough there. There's not enough content. Plus the turn-based strategy thing. Ugh. That also killed it for me because I am not a fan of it. Nothing about the story enthralled me, and the graphics were like. So, and then again, being on Unity, right, P-Man?
Yep, it is Unity.
That make
Unity.
Metro Last Light running on our render octo-core render box dual 770s. It's like
the 4A engine is super well optimized. Unity is not.
Unity, the box is fucking vibrating, but I'm not blaming this game. I'm blaming Levi Bond.
Yeah. So this game has one thing I actually enjoy, and it's how I played it mostly. It was on my netbook, which was you download the game through Steam, but after you have the files, it's DRM free. If you want to take it out of Steam and put it on another PC or carry it around wherever you go, you can. So that is also part of why I gave it 3 chairs for the fun, because it is a very, very good way to do things, and I think more devs should probably consider offering the game like this. Just saying.
That's a nice little.